try out the new VPN. It's not a VPN actually. I don't know what it's called. It's called a portal, I guess. I won't save this live, but I'm just sitting outside trying to buy time. I thought I would check in with you guys. How's it going? You guys well? What's happening? The sky looks beautiful. Look at that. I am in Ramenki right now. Just wasting some time. Slow Friday. I guess my Friday is basically like every Friday. I'm planning to have a date night with my wife. Indoors. Probably order some good food. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I'm just here to talk to you guys. Want to catch up. I don't know what happened. Well, it's one of the best districts in Russia. Okay. The best in what regard? Let me know. I know that Tsaritsina is not too far from here. Well, I'm in Tsaritsina actually. What am I saying? Yeah. So I can actually visit the palaces of Ekaterina the Great. I mistyped. I mean Moscow. Yeah. Moscow is definitely one of the best cities in the world, to be honest. But maybe I'm just being biased, but the place is beautiful. But look how beautiful the sky looks today. Apartment buildings. How's the quality, by the way? I hope my quality is a lot better. People are complaining about my walk through the streets of Moscow. Some people said that it was a bit blurry. I'm just checking in on you guys. Nothing special. I've got more content coming soon. I've got an interview on Wednesday. So that's going to be interesting. A rapper, a Russian rapper, yeah, a woman. She's a big fan of rap music, so it's going to be interesting. And we're going to go to the studio. She's going to spit a few bars because it's quite warm. 2 days ago, I was almost frozen. Moscow is weird. It's cold, it rains. It's basically the apocalypse every single day because it feels like there is just a shift. And the shift is basically brutal. There's no warning whatsoever. It could rain right now, just because. And that's how Moscow's weather is. But it's spring. Spring is very unpredictable. Usually, even May in Moscow. Where are you right now? I'm in Tsaritsina. Just chilling outside, wasting some time. Russia, Moscow. And it's not even about Moscow. It's the same thing with my home country. I remember every time I used to look at the forecast, and the forecast would say, "Hey, it's gonna be sunny," and it would just be rainy. And Moscow's worse because Moscow can just snow out of nowhere. Like it can just snow right now, just because it's Moscow. For example, weather sounds crazy. I am new. Hey, Gabriella, welcome. If you're new to the channel, I make Russian positive content. To put it lightly, I show Russia in a different light and allow people to see the real Russia by showing you guys pictures, videos. I interview people all over Moscow. I'm hoping it'll be all over Russia one day. So here we go. Thank you so much for the 20. Much love, man. Do you know anything about Turkey? No, actually, well, I know a little bit about Turkey, to be honest with you. But only thing I know about Turkey is Turkish delight and the fact that really beautiful cities, including Istanbul. And thank you so much, Virender, for the 20. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And I would say that you guys have amazing barbecue, awesome desserts, and actually, for people traveling to Russia, it is basically the place that is most neutral right now. So if you're coming to Russia, you might come through Turkey, because Turkey is basically playing both sides. Turkey's a fan of Russia and the States, but sometimes it sort of like dips and moves between the two. It's so crazy how they do that. I guess maybe because they're serving their interests. I respect it because we can basically come through to Russia that way, which is perfect. It's called Mangal. Man, I need to have you live. I would love to learn about Turkey. I would actually love to visit Turkey. My wife has been there so many times. If you're Russian, you've probably been to Turkey already, because Turkey's like a close destination. But I'm hearing it's more expensive now. I'm hearing the prices are crazy, even the tickets. My cousin lived in Yalabuga sometime, -33 in winter. It's rare for Moscow, but yeah, Turkestan is more open for northeastern wind. Yeah, man, it gets crazy. In Moscow, it can get to like -30, but I haven't experienced -30. The coldest I experienced was just before I left home. Well, for home, I think it was last year, and it was -18. It was so cold that the plane wings basically needed to get this. I don't know what it's called. It's like this gas that they use. They spray this. What is it? What is it? Does anybody know what it's called? You know, like when your plane wing is frozen and then you spray this gas that heats up the plane's wings so that it doesn't freeze. Anybody knows what it's called? Hit me up in the comments. I'm not a professional in terms of aviation. In Moscow, -25 2 years ago. Yeah. That's when I just left. I think it was 2 years ago. Yes, I just left, and boom. There you go. It was just really cold, and I remember the snow was up to my knees, not my knees, my ankles. But when I left, my wife showed me it was basically almost up to her knees, which is crazy. But now it's a beautiful day. As you can see, it's really sunny. Really sunny. How's the quality, by the way, guys? I'm trying to get better portals so that I can make it more picturesque for you. Some of you complained about the quality, but as you can see, there's some beautiful apartments in the background. Let me read some of the comments. Gabriella Vander, my mom was in Germany for 31 days. Awesome. I need to make a trip out there too. I already experienced -25. This is Arnold. Bro, you are on some other stuff, man. I don't even know how I would feel with -25. I hear when it gets to -25, it basically becomes no man's land because you can't breathe. You can't breathe at all. It just basically becomes no man's land. The air freezes and you actually need your scarf to cover your face. So I heard about that. I never experienced that. I hope that it won't be the case. Здоровье, это Москва, да, это Москва. Сейчас я в Раменке. Да. Сейчас... Не Раменке, нет, это Царицыно. Это Царицыно, да. Спасибо. It was freaking cold, but I visited Kolomna Gramophone Museum. Nice. Joseph. Hello. I see some Russian people in the chat. Здоровье. I'm practicing my Russian. This is a perfect chance. If you want to speak Russian, please feel free. I have 2 lessons a week. I actually think I'm getting better. But I have my wife's grandmother who basically is my teacher, because when I don't understand, she doesn't understand. Sorry, when I don't understand what to say and I try to speak to her and she doesn't understand what I'm saying, it's a good lesson for me, because then I get to go back to my notebook and I try to say something else, because she doesn't speak a lick of English. I must go. Okay, Gabriella, much love. Thank you for joining us. Well, in Russia we call -25 dubak. What is the direct translation for dubak? Dubak is when it freezes as hell. So like it's cold as hell. Yeah, it's cold as hell. Yeah, we basically say in English it's cold as hell. Or or like if you're freezing, you can say I'm freezing my butt off. Or if you want to be even more vulgar, you can say I'm freezing my balls out here. But you should probably keep you should keep PG. Keep PG, guys. Condor. Hey, bro. How's it going, man? How's it going? Get back to work. Yo, Man, I don't have any work right now. Okay, I'm chilling. It's a Friday. I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing. What do you do on a Friday? Don't you go out, soak in the sun, and hear the birds singing in the background, and I don't know, get a coffee? I'm just chilling. I'll probably be streaming for like 30 minutes more, and then I gotta head out because, yeah, unfortunately, we have to be adults, right? This adulting thing is not easy. Angie Gires. Gires. Is it Gires? Oh, are you? I'm actually surprised how good. Холодного холодно. Ну вот. I don't know the background. Somebody's he even messed up my connection. I lost you guys for a second. Sorry about the language. Да, но немного. Я думаю, сейчас не холодно, сейчас очень солнечно. Но Москва очень холодно. Да, сейчас нет. Но here we are. Well, I am one of Russians there. I recommend you go to Volgograd to experience the real heat in the south. Man, I would love to go to the south. I would love to go to the south because I'm from a very hot country. So when people say it's hot, I'm just like, you're lying. You know? I tell them you're lying. They don't understand what cold is. Sorry, hot is. See, I'm already stuck in Russian mode. Everything is cold. Plus 40 in August. That's insane. That's like my country. Plus 40 degrees Celsius. Man, that's wild. But it's dry. Heat, 30 degrees Celsius, humidity. Man. Yeah, my country is not very humid. My country is scorching. So when people say it's hot in Moscow, I don't think they understand what hot is, because where I'm from, when it's hot, it's basically scorching. You can fry eggs on the sidewalk. That's how hot it gets. You can take an egg, crack it, and some people in Moscow right now are like, oh, Andy, it's so hot, the sun is out. I'm like, do you know what hot is, my friend? It got so hot in my country at one stage, the government was handing out free water and people actually died on farms. That's how hot it got. Dubak comes from the verb dubet, which literally means to become hard. Okay, Dubak describes a cold so severe that everything becomes stiff. Oh, sorry. I'm so perverted. Never mind. I understand. I was like, hey, yo, but I understand what you mean. Hard as in like the physical properties of something. Okay. I mean, 30% is dry heat, 99% is for Caribbean. I see. You guys are educating me. Thank you. This is something I can talk about. I have an organized live on Monday at 12 p.m. Moscow time. We're going to be talking about superstitions. So if you guys want to learn something about Russian superstitions, also Arnold, I'd love to see you there, man. You have a lot of gems. You could also hit us up with some superstitions on Monday. India. Oh, nice. Namaste. My wife actually speaks Hindi, by the way. She's fluent. She's fluent in Hindi. Little Russian woman that can speak Russian, Hindi, English, German. She's basically, I don't know. What do they call that? A polyglot? Yeah, it's a polyglot. India too. Oh, nice, man. Awesome. So in Russia, you can experience wet heat and dry heat. Yeah, because I feel like Russia is a lot more vast than people give it credit. Because people are like, Russia's cold. No, come on. You've never been to the South. I haven't even been to the South. Things get more humid, more warm down the South. Bro, you are from Russia? No. I feel like if I was from Russia, the visa processes would be a lot easier. Not yet, at least. I guess the goal is to get the citizenship, right? That would be awesome. But I do feel like I probably do have a Russian soul because I love the style of Russians in terms of like the way they live. I love the aura. I love everything about Russia. So I think it's a perfect place to live and every single moment I become more Russian. So I don't know if you guys heard Bratucha there in the background. Little kids. No, let me read the comments. It's very big. Where are you staying in Russia? Somebody said wet in Sochi. Oh, I need to go to Sochi. Is it very big where you are staying in Russia? Yeah, I'm in Moscow, man. One of the biggest cities in the world, sir. In the world, on the planet. Yeah. So Moscow is, if not the biggest city in the world, one of the most developed too. I'll show you more because I'm thinking of sometimes going live in the center, or I was supposed to show you guys Red Square, but I didn't get a chance. No, I am from Russia myself and live for 2 cities, Moscow. And, oh, I see. Nice, man. Bro, explain situation of Russia and Ukraine nowadays. I feel like I'm not so poised to explain these things as well as my friends Kevin or Eddie. You guys can check out my page, by the way. I have some talks about Ukraine with Kevin. I think my last live was with Kevin. But I can tell you that the situation is kind of, it's give and go, because there was a meeting yesterday in Turkey, but we're not really seeing any resolutions. I think because both sides have they have their premises, right? Every side has their angle, every side has their perspective. Of course, you know which side I'm on, but I feel like negotiations are very hard when people are basically hard-headed and they don't want to actually solve the problem. And from what I'm seeing, it's always the case when people try to underhand Russia. So Russia's basically trying to protect its interests right now. And I will probably have to research what happened at the conference yesterday. They had these peace talks, but I'll let you guys know. And also I'll post in my community section some links to some very good, I would say, InfoWars specialists, Kevin Michaelizzi and Eddie Gonzalez, good friends of mine. They can give you really good takes about this. Давай, удачи тебе. Спасибо, брат. Вам тоже. Moscow could be compared. Oh, yes. Yes, Beijing and Moscow are very close. I think Moscow might be actually bigger. I think the only place that really competes with with Moscow is maybe Shanghai, in terms of size, because Shanghai is big. I lived there for 6 years. Not 6 years, sorry. I lived in China for 6 years, and then I was in Shanghai for 6 months. Huge. Because of size, yeah. Tokyo has biggest agglomeration in the world, around 35 million people. Damn. Peace talks did not happen yesterday, but started yet today. I think Putin never showed, I believe, yesterday. Oh, yeah, because I was hearing that there were supposed to be peace talks yesterday. And my wife was like, I'm not holding my breath. I was like, why? And she's like, I don't think there's going to be a resolution, because I saw that Zelensky was antagonizing Putin in the press releases. And I was like, we know where this is going. It's just this eternal beef, and there's no solving of the issue, you know? But there are many articles. Make sure you guys fact check as well, because there are so many articles out here. When I make videos for you guys, if you check out the channel, I make sure to make videos about topics I'm very well poised in. So if you have any topics that you want to get into, tell me. I will do the research. I'm friends with former Department of Defense contractors of the USA. So I have a lot of friends that can give me information and in-depth information. So if you guys want to know something, tell me. I'm a researcher. I love to learn. I'm not a professional in politics, but I'm more of a commentator, if you've seen. I love to make commentary videos, and I like to have societal debates, and we love to talk about things that are happening in the community. But politics, I'm kind of learning as I go ahead, because in my country, everything was anti-Russian. So I'm still trying to rewire my brain. I think Putin never showed, I believe, yesterday. No, if I recall, Putin said that he's not coming to the peace talks. Apparently, he sent an official. I don't know which official, but he said he would not attend in person. So Putin's not going to the peace talks himself. But yeah, I also heard reports that it didn't happen today, but it would commence today. Sorry, it didn't happen yesterday, but it will commence today. The conflict in Ukraine is these good old territories abuse like Karabakh. Are you okay there? You seem to be a little wary. No, I'm okay. I'm a bit tired, a little bit, because I had a long night. I was typing an article for my Substack. By the way, guys, if you want to check out my Substack, hit up Substack Afrolev in Russia, or you can just look for the handle Afrolev, the Afrolev. I am writing articles now. I didn't think I would become a journalist, but here we are. I'm good, man. I'm so good. I'm honestly the happiest I've been in I would say 6 years. Russia has brought a lot of joy to me, I would say. His delegation never came, nor did the foreign aid people. Not sure why. I'll look into that still. Thank you for saying that. I need to actually see. I was trying my best not to research about it until we actually had like a solid report of what was discussed. And what I do is I wait for RT to release it's news, and then I wait for Sky News to research news, and then I read between the lines and I minus the bullshit. Because when you're trying to access information, you should make sure that you contrast between two or more sources, because one source will just put itself forward, right? And the other source will be like, yo, the other guy's wrong. So try your best to, I would say, mediate, look through different sources. So I'm basically waiting for the full thing. Quran 4:71, indeed, the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, was a messenger of Allah. Now this is eternal life, that they know you, true God, and Jesus, whom you have sent. Somebody's quoting Quran verses. Much love to my Muslim brothers in the chat. Actually, my best friend is Muslim. He's from Egypt. He's half Moroccan, and he helped me through so much. Major respect to the Muslim community in the comments. Much love to you all, guys. He wants to meet with the man. Well, it's Tsaritsa now. Yeah, it's Tsaritsa now. I might walk around. I might walk around a bit just to let you guys see my surroundings. People like to go at me. They say, Andy, you're always sitting in your chair with your microphone and you're doing commentary, right? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm a commentator, man. I don't blog and stuff. So I'm trying to vlog more. I don't even know what they called it. Blog. I guess a blog is the one you write, right? Understandable. Yeah, I'm just trying to assess every single thing. Assalamu alaikum, bro. I can beat you in boxing. Well, I'm pretty sure you could. Because I've never boxed a day in my life. But I'm Zimbabwean, don't underestimate me. Zimbabweans are like natural born fighters. Kind of like the Chechens. Zimbabweans are like the Chechens of Africa. Every time somebody says Zimbabwean, they're scared. They're like, oh shit. The Zimbabwean dude walked in. Basically like the tough guys of Africa. Vlog, yes, a vlog is for the video. You know Gaddafi? Yes, I know Gaddafi. I was gonna write an article about Gaddafi too. I am writing a few articles about African leaders that basically didn't get their shot because the West shut them down. So if you guys are interested in unadulterated content that is not censored, content that won't get taken down, because I can't talk about stuff here freely. They'll take down my channel. But on my Substack, I'm pretty much really brutal. I just talk about anything, even if it's not politically correct. I basically have been switching between 3 languages. Sorry, guys. I'm a Chinese teacher, I'm an English teacher, and I'm also learning Russian, so sorry. My tongue sometimes thinks faster than I do. Belarus and Ukraine all the time were war zones with Russia, was against Poland. Yeah, it's interesting. Belarus's story is very interesting. My wife and I always call Lukashenko the Don, because he basically is liked by everyone. Even when there's beef, there's like a conversation people have with him. He's one of those guys that has so many connections. We call him the Don. I love Russia. Let's go for... Okay, fine. We can go for a walk. We can... I guess we can walk down the street because I'm way too early, guys. I need to head out maybe at like 3. I'll head out at 3. I think that's better. But let's walk around the neighborhood. Let me just respond. I am from India, state West Bengal district. Utter Dinajapur, Bengali, Muslim, love African people. Man, us African people love Indians too, bro. There's so many Indians in my country, and a lot of them have citizenship, businesses. They're basically flourishing in my country. And actually, some of the richest people in my country are Indians. Indians are really good businessmen. And I grew up with Indians, believe it or not. I wish I learned Hindi. I missed the opportunity. I was too busy eating the curry and roti and enjoying their spicy food and the chapati and all that. So I should have asked for some words and some knowledge. Let me see. Somebody said, I am from Ethiopia. I like your content in Russia. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to show you guys our surroundings while I'm talking, because somebody was asking for the surroundings. So I'll just be switching through front camera and face camera. But this is Tsaritsino. I'm going to respond to some of your comments. Indian English is crazy. Well, somebody said Indian English is crazy. Well, I think it's interesting because English has, at this point, English has dialects, because even in my country, people restructure the English language. Like, I can give you an example. In my country, people say, oh, shame. And shame in the English language basically means you did something which is shameful, like it's disgusting, right? But where I'm from, when somebody says, oh, shame, it's like, oh, you poor guy. So I feel like English has dialects at this point. Foodie. Yeah, man, I'm a foodie. There is Diski. Over there is Vukusville. I had an iced latte, which is strange for me. By the way, guys, when I came to Russia, I started drinking a lot more coffee. Way more coffee. I had no idea why. Now I know why, because it's cold in Russia. So, saying Hindi. Oh, he's asking, you're asking if I know some Hindi? No, but my wife is fluent. My wife is, I think, she's almost B2 in Hindi. I think she is B2. She's higher than B2. I think she's trying to study for C1 now. So my wife is almost fluent in Hindi. It's actually scary because sometimes you go to Indian restaurants. She's a Russian woman, by the way. And she speaks to them and they're like, oh, she's a local, because she's half Syrian. So she could basically be from any place in the world. Some people think that she's Pakistani. Some people think that she's from Armenia. Some people think she's from Saudi. Some people even think that she's, I don't even know. But basically she could pass for anybody. So if she ever decides to be a spy, I think her appearance is perfect. She could even pass for maybe like a mixed kid in my country, because we have so many mixed kids. So yeah, English is easy. Yeah, man, English is easy. Russian is hard. I'm fluent in Chinese, and Russian is hard. What do you guys think about my surroundings? What do you think about Tsaritsino? Live from Moscow, Tsaritsino right now. Well, you just at the new block. Yeah, man, you could tell, right? Because the buildings are pretty new-ish. They're pretty new. I like the Soviet buildings. At first, I wasn't a fan of the Soviet buildings because people said, oh my god, Soviet buildings are like grayscale. But I kind of like the culture. I like the culture. Because his half-Syrian mix looks like Lucas BW, they are actually close. Yeah, so people mistaken her from, but not really. I think the main thing that she gets is Armenia. People always say, "Oh, is your wife Armenian?" I'm like, "No." Or, "Is your wife?" Yeah, sometimes from the Caucasus, but it's weird because sometimes it depends what hair she has, or like it depends what kind of photo you take. It gets even more confusing, you know. But in my view, I just don't understand why people are so concerned about what kind of Russian you are. You're Russian, you know. And I kind of like the fact that she's mixed with different cultures. It also makes me so excited to see our children because they'll basically have different, I would say, backgrounds and races, and it's going to be so interesting. Can't wait to show you guys my kids when we have them. Um, so let me read. Ooh, so many comments. Sorry, they're actually close. Namaste, Kimcho. I'm Indian. I need a Russian wife. Well, man, you're in luck because a lot of Russian women actually like Indian guys. By the way, there's a huge Holy Krishna group here in Moscow, and a lot of Russian women actually love Indian men. Yeah, and they love the culture, they love the food. So I would say Russia is kind of the place for you if you want a Russian wife because Indian culture is so popular here. We even have an India Day. Let me close up with this, guys. We even have an India Day here in Moscow. So, and there's so many Indian dudes with Russian wives. It's crazy. She can be a super spy. Yes, my wife can basically be a super spy because she can pass for anyone. And our kids would be like the best, I think, because they could even say, "No, I'm African. No, I'm Russian." They could just switch, you know. Very nice. Were you able to see the victory parade in the Red Square? Unfortunately, my channel is not big enough yet. I guess that's why I need you guys, because apparently you need to have a certain subscriber count, and then you can say to the government that you're a journalist, and you can get an invitation. Igor in Russia was there. Yellowslavic was there. Eddie Gonzalez was there. So many of my friends were there, and I was like, damn, I gotta work harder. Because many of my blogger friends, people that I've met, right, they went to the Red Square. They saw Putin like 5 feet away, which is crazy. Because Armenians are very close to Syrians. I love Armenians. Some of my brothers are Armenians, man. They have such a warm, welcoming aura to them. I actually have some pictures with some of my Armenian friends, and honestly, they have such good hearts, really, really good hearts. Also, Azerbaijanis, really good friends with other Azerbaijanis. You can be a super spy in the US too. Yes. Well, Krishnaism. Yes, Krishnaism. Which country today, superpower, United States or China? It's a big debate. I don't know what people classify powers nowadays, honestly. But I think in terms of like marketing power, definitely China. China is the biggest producer of everything. China is the reason why I even have this phone in my hand right now. You know, without China, we wouldn't have our clothes. So I love how the States tries to, like, I don't know, put tariffs on them and everything, but without China, we're basically nothing. Take it from somebody that lived in China for almost a decade. China has everything, every single thing possible. By the way, I see Derjo is from Ethiopia. I have an African in Moscow group if you want to join too. Basically uplifting Africans in Russia. You can find that in my community. I think I made a post. The link is there too. Let me do this. What else? Armenians are very interesting, have very interesting cuisine. Oh wait, can I get a work visa in Russia? I am from Ethiopia, and if you can send me a job link. It's possible to get a job in Russia. Yes, a work visa, but it depends. What job are you looking for? To be honest with you, The easiest job for foreigners right now is probably to be a teacher, but it's not as easy as it used to be. But I do know some companies. I could give you some links. But if you speak Russian, you can do whatever you want. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to learn Russian because I speak Russian. No, sorry. I speak English. I speak Chinese. And if I spoke Russian, I would have been able to go into my major, which is international business and trade. But I'm trying to learn my Russian right now. Armenians have very interesting cuisine. Yes. And you can find too much Armenians. Yes. I feel like Armenians are basically Russians now. I know some people are going to disagree with that, but Armenians are basically Russians now. They're basically an ethnic group of Russia at this point. And some people might not like that, but I think, let's be realistic. Armenians were basically post-Soviet. They've been in the country for a long time. I think people should classify them as their brothers at this point. And Armenians love lavash. Yes, lavash is so popular. It's way too popular. You guys are awesome. I even see some donations. You know, that's actually the first donation I've ever received on YouTube. Somebody sent me 25 cents. Oh, thank you. I always was worried about going live because I was like, oh man, people that go live are usually women, right? And you know, like how women can just say stuff like, hey guys, welcome to my channel, and then people just send like 20k euros and all that stuff just because it's a woman, right? So when I see somebody send me some cash on my stream, I'm like, thank you so much, because I'm basically competing with women that make content about Russia. I have a friend that basically talks about nothing. She just looks at the camera and people shoot her like 50 euros every single moment. So it's crazy. Armenians are distinct people, but they have very close relationships because of Christianity. Yes, I mean, no, not in terms of like actually like being Russian, but I feel like we should classify them as a part of Russia because, I mean, they're everywhere, and I feel like they're, you know, I would say homey. They remind me of Russians a lot. Armenians are pretty similar. I guess maybe just the way they look different, but the soul is similar. What temperature in Moscow right now? Seems very comfy. Dude, it's like 18, 17 degrees Celsius the last time I checked. But I think I might actually take off my jacket. Fuck, I'm sitting in the sun. Sorry, I swore. I'm trying my best to become more, I would say, holy. I recently visited a church, so I'm trying to go back to Christianity, but my mouth is just dirty. Sorry guys, didn't mean to swear. Because of Ottomans, any work possible, even a labor work, but basically I'm a lecturer in university about to. Yo man, so what I would advise you is, if you say any work, I can add you to groups. Look in my description. I have a Telegram group. Just join it there. Go to my bio, like my main page, and I can just give you some links to some job offers that they post all the time. But try your best.
Alright.
Sorry, 1 second. Здравствуйте. Спасибо. Спасибо. Such nice people. One of my friends, I didn't even meet, just shook my hand. Nice guy, very nice guy. I always get shocked because I lived in China for, I think, half a decade. And usually when people come up to say hello to you is because they want to engage in a long conversation with you, ask you where you're from. This man just came just to shake my hand, call me brat, so that's really sweet. It's happened to me like 3 or 4 times. Russian people are so sweet. So sweet. So, any work possible, yeah. So yeah, look in my bio. Go to my bio. You'll find something. There, you find my Telegram group. 1 second. I'm just gonna reply to my wife. 1 second. It's crazy. I didn't even know the guy. He called me brat, which is so sweet. Russian people are just the sweetest people, man. Really sweet. And I guess people get scared because back where I'm from, when somebody just comes to say hello to you randomly, it's because they're trying to rob you. So I always get a bit frightened when people walk up to me and greet me. But this guy just walked up to me and greeted me just to say hi and call me brother. It's just insane to me, man. I'm from a place you would say that and there'll be like another person that is sneaking into your pocket and taking all of your money. Let that sink in, you know? And here is this guy just shaking my hand. Insane. Just Ottomans oppressed Armenians because of religion. I see. Arnold Lynch, you're giving me a lot of gems, man. I am learning everything and unlearning everything, to be honest with you, about Russia, because in my country, as I said before, everything was anti-Russian. So I'm pretty much dumb when it comes to Russian history. I'm just learning. I'm learning about the laws. I'm learning about the history. I'm learning about the real history. And wow, a cloud is coming over me now. So it's really nice. Keep on sharing your gems, Arnold. I appreciate it, man. Hey, Gerdio, my brother. Здорово. Ты появиться в рекомендациях. Да. Спасибо, здоровья. Приятно познакомиться. Меня зовут Афролев. Да, меня зовут Афролев. African Lion. Меня зовут Янзи. Приятно познакомиться. Добрый пожаловать. Мой... What would I say? I'll say my life. I think that one. I'm glad to pop up on your recommendations, guys. Love you guys so much. And you guys are sending money to me now, which is strange. I feel so shy. Thank you. It's the first time I've gone live and somebody sent me cash. I feel so blown away. And I do this for you guys. I try to give you guys a better view of Russia. Your Russian is pretty decent. Thank you. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's just really, really difficult. But I'm trying. And every time I say my Russian is trash, my wife says like, no, you're getting better. Your accent is better. You know, but I think she's just gassing me up because she has to live with me. So she might as well just toot my horn, right? Живешь в России? Да. Сейчас я в Москве. Да. Меня африканец, я из Зимбабвеец. Но я в Москве. Я жил в Москве, может быть, один год, да. 1 год. Спасибо, Кондор. Thank you. I'm learning, bro. But I'm on A1. So right now it's like I have the most useless vocabulary, but I have the basics. So it's nice that I'm a teacher so that I understand. So it's helpful that I understand the structure of languages. It makes it a lot easier for me to understand because I understand there's like a functionality that comes with learning a language. There's a premise, there's a specific way to approach a language. So it's nice that I am a teacher. I see these little Easter eggs and I compare them to Chinese and I compare them to other things. And the thing about Caucasians and Crimea Tatars is interesting. Many Circassians territory was taken because Russia was afraid of Circassians Tatars. You can meet Circassians in Sochi even as bus drivers. Ooh, I would love to learn about Russian ethnicity, you know, because there's so many nations and republics that I don't even know about. And guys, I will be very honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel very ignorant because when I came to Russia, I thought that every single Russian person was Slavic. They're not. You know, you have people from the Caucasus, you have Tatars, you have so many different, what would you say, ethnic groups in Russia. And it's so huge, man. And funny enough, I feel like my brothers here in Russia are probably Chechens. Chechens, Armenians, but we don't classify them as Russian, right? Armenians and Dakistani guys. I don't know. Every Dakistani guy and every Caucasian guy thinks I am Muslim. So the way they're like, Assalamu alaikum, brat. I'm like, oh, alaikum salam. I'm not Muslim, but I feel so bad. I feel so bad not to say salam alaikum, alaikum salam, because they're so happy to see me. And I'm just like, man, maybe I need to be half Muslim, half Christian. Maybe I'm studying Chrislam or something like that, bro, because, yeah. Is Chinese more difficult to learn? For me, it's like from a different planet. To be honest with you, Chinese is difficult when it comes to the tones, but Russia is really hard when it comes to grammar. Chinese characters, like the character writing, the tones, it messes you up. But if you are looking at it from a grammatical point of view, or a grammar point of view rather, Russian is hard. Because Chinese, if you know one form of a word, like a verb, if you know how to say go, you can use it anywhere. Let me give you guys an example. If I want to say, I am going to the supermarket or the store, 我去商店，我去商店, right? 我去商店, which basically means I'm going to the store, right? 去 is used everywhere. It is past tense, it is present tense, it is past perfect, and there are different forms of that in terms of, like, if you use le at the end, which makes it past tense, right? But if you know 去, you basically know every grammatical form because there's only one 去. In Russian, there's idти, there's what is it? There's to go by foot, there's to go by car, едем, едить. There are so many versions of go, but in Chinese there's one go, and that's like all the verbs. Chinese difficulties would probably be the structures. They have their own grammatical structures. Like they have grammar structures where it's like you need to learn a phrase and then fill in the gaps, that kind of grammar structure. But in terms of grammar all around, it's just structures, not really conjugation. Yes, идти, поехать, идти, ехать, лететь, my guy. Well, you know Chinese way better than Russian. 对啊，我会中文，因为我在中国7年了，所以我的中文很好啊。但是我觉得，如果我不是中文老师啊，我觉得我不能我不能说中文，因为在俄罗斯有很多的中国人，但是啊，他们非常想说俄罗斯。I'm telling you guys that in Russia there are a lot of Chinese people, but they want to speak Chinese. Sorry, there are a lot of Chinese people, but they want to speak Russian. So I bump into Chinese people, and they'll be there like, I went to this Chinese store the other day, and I came in, I was like, 你好啊, and the Chinese person was just like, здравствуйте, помочь? I'm like, bro, really? I just... And his Russian was as bad as mine, so we were forced to speak in Chinese. And it's just the same question. 我的天哪，你这么能说中文啊? How can you speak Chinese? Oh my god! And I was like, 我是留学生，在中国，然后我就在中国7年了。I was in China for 7 years, and they're just like blown away. Like, this black dude can speak Chinese. It's always dramatic, but sometimes my brain gets stuck. When I'm teaching Chinese, I'm basically Chinese mode. When I go outside and people are like, okay, you need to speak on cue, I sometimes think in Russian. And then when I speak in Chinese, I sometimes think in Chinese. Sorry, I sometimes speak in Russian when I speak in Chinese, and I sometimes think in Chinese when I speak in Russian. I'm a Russian speaker, and I thought Chinese simply did not have any grammar at all. Yes, because it doesn't have so much. It just has structures. The structures. Well, you know Chinese way better than Russian. Yes, Chinese is my second language. But I really hate the fact that now my brain is kind of getting confused because my Russian is getting better. Еще и китайский язык знает. Сколько язык знаешь? Брат, я знаю китайский, русский. I don't know how to say it. В Zimbabwe есть язык. Английский тоже есть. I don't know how to say it. Maybe you guys can help me. Like, we have like a native language called Shona. I speak a little bit of Shona. Французский тоже. Да. Legit flying. There's also a verb for flying, my guy. I was a bit amazed when I encountered Chinese people 2 meter. China has tall people, especially in the north. Northerners, yes. Northerners are big. 当我在中国，我觉得中国人非常矮的。I thought that they were very short. 然后我看到我的学生 I saw my students. 然后我看到，我的天哪，他们非常高的。怎么可能？中国人不高。Chinese people are not tall, right? Lies, they are tall. 但是，如果你在广东 if you are in 广东，如果你在四川 if you're in Sichuan, Chinese people are really short. That is like the stereotypical Chinese person, short. But in the north, you get very confused. I am learning Chinese in Russia. Where do you usually meet Chinese people? Dude, I recommend going to Chinese restaurants and then trying to speak Chinese with Chinese people. And they will be very happy because Chinese people get very excited when somebody can speak the language. You should go to Chinese restaurants and speak it. If you want, I also have a Chinese channel. You can join my main channel. It's in my bio, my YouTube bio. And I also have a Chinese group. I can share you the Chinese group. I recently started it because I teach Chinese and I post content in there every day. So you can learn Chinese. Most ridiculous to mix Spanish with Chinese to one speech. Sorry guys, I'm speaking English and Russian and Chinese. But yeah, Spanish is wild. It seems that to speak Chinese, you need to restructure your tongue. Yes, you need to restructure your tongue to speak Chinese. Because it also depends on which part of China you learned your Chinese. In China, we have something called, I'm saying in China like I'm Chinese, Jesus Christ. We have something called Putonghua, which is the standardized Chinese. This is the Beijing Chinese. If you study the HSK, 如果你学习汉语水平考试啊 HSK 你学的普通话 you learn 普通话 which is basically the standardized Chinese that comes from Beijing. But also Beijing people have a certain way of speaking. I'll give you guys an example. I'll teach you one phrase. So listen. In Chinese, if you want to say is, the word to be, it is 是. Okay? In the South, they close their mouth more. They say 是. So you need to change your tongue. You need to change your vibe. It depends which province you're in. China is vast too. It's just like Russia. You have different ethnic groups. You have different ways of speaking Chinese. Shona, yeah, Shona is the most spoken language second to English in Zimbabwe. So most Zimbabweans know Shona. Said hi. Nikita, what's up, man? Senpai. I suppose that northern Chinese people are more close to Siberian. Yeah. Northern Chinese people, especially in Harbin. Harbin is an example of people that are Siberian because Harbin gets very cold. Igor, hey man, just came from Russia, now in Estonia, yesterday morning in Moscow, today in SPD, now Estonia, hope to be in Russia soon. Man, when you're in Russia, Igor in Russia, guys, we have a legend in the chat right now. Igor in Russia. Really big fan of your channel, Igor. We had an interview a few weeks back talking about Russia, as always. That's what we talk about. And he is a really nice guy. Met him in person. And he's actually the tallest blogger that I've met so far. He's my height because every blogger that I've met in Russia is always shorter than me. And Igor's like my size, you know? So I'm like, damn, okay. Really nice dude. He has an awesome channel. If you guys see in the chat, Igor in Russia, follow him. follow him. He's basically the default setting for content in Russia. People complimented you in my video, by the way. Thank you so much. I saw that. I saw a few people complimenting my English and how what is it? I saw one about how civilized I am. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. I assume I am civilized, I hope. Yes, dude, when you come back, you should tell me. We should make more content. A lot of my subscribers are saying they want to see us do something again. So I'm excited to see you when you're in Moscow again. I'll take you out to lunch. I owe you some lunch, Igor. So when you're back, I'll take you to one of my favorite restaurants. Let me know when you're back. Yo, bro. Hey, from Russia Army. I'm not an ad. Dude, you have Nikita Senpai. I'm sorry. What is Senpai, by the way? This is a Japanese reference. What is Senpai? Is it like brother? It's like brat, right? I think Senpai is brat. Very interesting channel is American in Russia, Mark, which lives in Tambov. I need to check out American in Russia. I was very busy every minute. Seriously, I went to Tanil Mavra. Oof, dude. Igor, dude, you travel a lot. I was telling my wife about you. I'm like, this guy. This guy, I thought I was consistent, but guys, Igor is consistent. This man posts a video like every 3 hours or something. The guy is persistent, consistent, and very dedicated to his craft. Man, you've been on the run. You've been through many different cities. Yo, I really want to check out Tallinn as well. Tallinn sounds like a nice place. I was in... Where was I? I was in Tver a week ago. And I finally saw the statue. What is that song? I forgot the song. Popular song in Russia. Central. Yeah. Vladimirsky Central. Vitr Svirny. Yes. I finally saw the statue. Yeah. Do you believe in God? Yes. Yes, I'm trying to rediscover my faith. Actually, my dream is to become Orthodox. But I'm trying my best to learn Russian first because I feel like it's more respectful if you know the language and you set foot in a church and you can understand the whole congregation. Although I hear that you can become Orthodox. If you guys haven't seen, I had an interview with the priest and he said that I could become Orthodox, but I want to respect the country and the people more. I want to learn the language and I want to learn exactly what Orthodoxy is more deeply. What is your favorite restaurant? My favorite restaurant in Moscow would have to be Sushi Wok. Sushi Wok is fire. It's basically this place that sells sushi, pizza, and wok. I also like Lavash, which is basically like a shawarma place. And my wife and I like this really nice place. What's the name? It sells Georgian food and khachapuri. Damn it, I forgot the name. It's in every single district. These guys make so much money. And I forgot the name. If I remember the name, I'ma tell you. Nah, it's honorary suffix. Oh, it's a suffix. Okay. Hentai. Yes, Senpai. Somebody's called Senpai. That's a suffix. Sorry. I was very young when I made this nickname. Thank you, sir. You agree as well. Much love, Igor. Much love. Tver, Dubna, Taldon. Search this curious video. Russian markets are crazy. Mark lived in Chelyabinsk in the 90s. It was hard times in Russia, but he decided to live in this time. I keep on hearing about Mark. You guys are gonna make me hunt down Mark and interview him. Man, Tver is nice in summer. My only not so good experience in Russia was Tver winter. I heard Tver winter is on some other stuff, man. People tell me like Tver is on some other stuff. And you know what's funny? Because when we went to Tver, it was snowing in Moscow. When we came back to Moscow, it was snowing in Tver. So my wife and I are basically like, we're leaving this cold trail behind us. But how cold does it get in Tver? In Moscow, I know that it can get to like -30, but it depends. Commonly, winters don't get to that. Senpai is an elder mate. Kohai is younger mate. Man, you're gonna make me want to Learn Japanese as well, brother. I tasted sushi wok spicy soba with beef. Oh man, sushi wok with Igor in Russia. Igor, the people have spoken, bro. We need to have like an interview eating sushi wok. Uh, I'm a Russian native and I don't understand all the things written in temples. It is an H in Russian, I think. Hello, Grigori. It's Church Slavic. Ah, Gerdio, my brother. Somebody said wow. Did one of you follow me? Somebody said wow on my Instagram. Yeah, I hear that not even Russian people understand everything. But I guess I will convert. Hopefully after I sort out everything to do with my visa, I would love to like get stuff done because laws change every year, you know? So just trying to make sure everything is in check. But when things are settled down, I really would love to get baptized. I've never been baptized. Never been baptized. So let's do it. Sushi shawarma. That's what's up. Hi man, you heard it here first. Sushi shawarma talk coming soon, guys. Igor in Russia with the Afrolev in Russia. You know, Igor, I actually stole your alias because I was gonna call myself just Afrolev, but then I saw that you said Igor in Russia, and I was like, this guy is so smart because people type in Russia, right? So it's like the first thing that pops up in the search engine. So I was like, damn, that's perfect. I'm gonna do that. So yeah, first I was just the Afrolev. That's it. But yeah, you heard it here first, guys. Igor and I will make a sushi wok video for you guys. Maybe we can talk about some current issues, or we can improvise. Maybe we can even go live. It would be dope to see us live together. Get in, brother, for real, man. I need to rediscover my faith because honestly, I've never belonged to any church. I thought I did, but I've never been baptized, which means that I don't belong to any church. Being shadow bad doesn't help. Man, I feel like, you know, the Russian niche is becoming so popular, but people don't understand how painful it is to be somebody that makes content about Russia. You don't understand. If you are somebody that's wanting to make content about Russia, be prepared for shadow banning, be prepared for unexplained views that disappear, be prepared for random strikes on videos that the strike doesn't even make any sense. You can be struck down like, oh, this video is being taken down because it's supporting the atrocities in Ukraine. I'm like, what? I didn't even talk about and I'm the least most political guy, you know? So they really pick and choose. For me now, they're basically on this campaign of draining my views. My interviews used to get 11K, 6K, 8K, 9K. Now I'm basically fighting to get to 500 views on every video. And when my videos hit 500, they minus 200. When my videos hit 100, they're minus 20. I was like, what is wrong with you guys, man? And most of the times I'm talking about things that are not even that profound. So it's crazy. Moscow has one of the best cuisines, best pizza, best onion soups, etc. in there. Yeah, I love the Soviet restaurants in Moscow. Yeah, man, real moments, senpai. You just gotta keep on fighting. Especially if you live in the West, then it's even harder. Normal life, but F them. Yeah, man, F them. To be honest, I was so angry first. Like, I always used to complain. I remember I would sit in my bed late at night and my wife would be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, you know, I'm making this content about Russia. I'm just trying to share the truth. And then these guys are just stealing my views. A couple of weeks ago, they took away $5 from me because I recently got monetized and I complained. I got it back. It's just like they're just finding different ways to, like, I don't know, poke me. And my wife's like, nah, just F them. Keep on making content. And basically, the logic that I came to is that the goal here is actually to get banned, because it means that you're big enough and you're sharing enough truth that you piss people off. But I think the main goal here is I'll probably set up my own website when I'm big enough. I'll take you guys with me because this platform is very, very monitored. The baby was crying now. She's confused. She sees this man. over there. Okay, she's crying again. Scraping the barrel, those guys. Dude, they're just beefing with me for no reason. And I laugh because I have friends that are even more intense than me. People say that I'm very nice and respectable because I don't really go in as hard as I can, because I feel like I'm too nice. I try to give you guys 2 points of views, but I have friends like Eddie and Kevin. They just go full on political, and they'll tell you that's a lie. They'll tell you straight up. And I'm so glad that they have the chance to do that, because I feel like a few years ago maybe they wouldn't have even been allowed to do content like this. But I think it's changing. We're still in trouble, but we're not in as much trouble as we could have been, I think. So yeah, if my channel gets taken down, you know why. Because sometimes I also feel kind of curious to make content that's political, because I love politics now for some reason, but I'm not that educated in politics. I'm a linguist, I'm a poet, I'm a commentator, but honestly I want to learn more about politics because I think it's very important. When I was a kid, people always said, hey, don't talk about politics, it's not important. But my dad even got really angry at me when I started this channel. He was like, you need to focus on stuff, like you're a family man, you shouldn't be out here fighting people and arguing. I was like, hey, I feel like my kids should basically have the same mindset that you need to fight for what's right. So I do this channel, or I make content on this channel, because I want people to see the truth. I'm tired of this bullshit that people have out there about what Russia really is, and how every little bad thing that happens in Russia is exclusive to Russia. And I'm one of those honest people. Look, Russia's not perfect. It's not. But no place is perfect. So this rubbish idea of like, oh, this happened in Russia, Russia's like this. Dude, people are like, oh my God, I experienced racism in Russia. Dude, people are racist in my country. And the funny thing about Russia is actually I feel like it's the least racist place that I've ever lived in. And by the way, I was black in my own country, but I was Zimbabwean. I've experienced xenophobia because I'm Zimbabwean, and I was born in a country that is anti-Zimbabwean. They don't like Zimbabweans. So believe it or not, I am more comfortable here than I am in the place that I was born. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. It's crazy. Full circle moment. You kind of look at the place that people were saying is the worst place to live, and I compare it based on the locals and how they treat me. Completely different. And people will hate to hear this. Maybe even some people that are watching this from my country. Zimbabweans are stigmatized. People like me are stigmatized. We're called crooks, we're called thieves, we're called so many things. And it's very painful because we're kind of like thrown in a barrel. When I'm here, maybe people just think I'm this African dude, but there's no stigma. I don't know how many high fives I've had with security guards, bro. It's actually getting crazy. It's getting crazy how I'm getting all these high fives from security guards and stuff like that, because they just treat me normally, which is wild. You are doing very well with your videos. You're articulate and charismatic, interesting to follow. I appreciate you, Condor. This is my parents paying so much for my education. My parents spent a fortune on my education, a lot of money, and I think I'm eternally grateful for that. I think that's also why I do this. I do this because I love to share the truth, but I also do this because I kind of want to instill wealth in my family, because my family was really wealthy at a certain time, and then we struggled, but still they pushed me through school. I don't speak like this because I was raised in America or England. No, my parents paid thousands and thousands of dollars to educate me like this. And the fact that I even speak like this, the fact that I'm even in Russia and I can articulate things and I can speak Chinese and all these things, is because of my parents. And I feel like I would love to repay them. So when we blow up, guys, when we blow up, we need to buy them a house. We need to buy them a car. We need to buy them so many things, because there's no Afro Lev without them, you know? Yeah, man, I blend in. Believe it or not. I'm here like, yo, I'm normal. The guy next to me gave me a handshake. He's like, brat. He's like, извините, brat. Приятно познакомиться. I was like, okay, приятно познакомиться. I thought the guy was gonna mug me because in my country, when somebody's like, hey, bro, how you doing? You know they're gonna steal your money. And I'm just there like checking my wallet and my my bank cards every moment. YouTube kind of reminds Reddit in worst sense of the thing. Yeah, man. Reddit is a very nice place, actually. It's got some of the most rebellious people, and I love it. You know, sometimes you need a little chaos to instill a movement. It can't be sunshine and rainbows. You need people to say things that ruffle feathers, and you can't always be the person that is just smiling, nodding, and going along with every narrative. You need to push boundaries. You need to. And I feel like that's what this article writing is doing for me. If you guys don't know, I started a Substack, and I am writing my ass off, trying to get information out there. Because my goal here is that I'm trying to basically become an African blogger here in Russia, giving people a different mindset and a different view of Africans, while also uplifting Russia and uplifting Africa. Because we have so many similarities that we don't even know of. For example, we're both stigmatized. I wrote this article about how Africans and Russians are basically stigmatized. Did you know that during the World War, when we had the Nazis, basically Slavic people were not classified as white, which is ridiculous. The categories which Hitler set, right? Slavic people were classified as other. So Europe has always had this hatred towards Slavic people, even saying, he's not white, he's Russian. It's like, what? Bro, what does that even mean? You know? So same thing with Africans. You know, we're basically, we're shown to be uneducated, we're shown to be primitive. People think that we're just good at sports, or they think we're hypersexual, or we're basketball players, or people never look at us and they're like, man, this guy is so intelligent. Which is pretty sad. You know? It's sad because we kind of need to rewrite this. I'm trying to rewrite this. And in Russia, we're given room to move. So a lot of you might be like, yo, Afrolev, you're so articulate, you're so intellectual. A lot of Africans are like me as well, but we're also stigmatized. And it's the same as Russians. Everybody in the West thinks that Russians are these guys with heavy accents that just drink vodka all day and are just violent, which is not true. It's a stigma. Stigmatized in your own country? Yeah, I'm stigmatized in my own country. Well, not my own country. I was born in Botswana, but my passport is Zimbabwean. And Zimbabweans and Botswana basically have beef, right? So they are consistently going at each other. Yeah, it's one of those things. But I love Botswana. Don't get it wrong. It's just like as a kid growing up, I really experienced a lot of xenophobia, because I guess the equivalent is like Americans and Mexicans. You know, like that beef that's there, how people like stigmatize Mexicans. We're basically like the Mexicans of Africa, if that makes sense. So we work the hardest, and we basically get blamed for every single crime that takes place. And God forbid, when a Zimbabwean commits a crime, it's everyone's like, oh my God, full circle moment. I told you Zimbabweans are like this. And it's just one of those things. So, I'm gonna head out in like 3 minutes because, guys, I gotta get back to adulting. I'm surprised I sat here for 1 hour, 3 minutes. It's crazy. I wasn't gonna save this, but I think I'll save it. Maybe we can call this Lev Talks. No topic, we just talk about stuff. I'll say this as Lev Talks Part 1. Maybe we can make it a little live episode thing. I'll just set the screen horizontally and we can just talk about stuff. And it's always nice to hear you guys and your thoughts. You guys are awesome. Really, really awesome. I should start walking. I gotta go do something. But before I go, guys, feel free. You can follow my Telegram. It's in the bio. You can follow my Instagram. Just hit my page. All the links are there. For Africans in the chat, I also have an Africans in Moscow group that I'm making. I made. And I'm trying to uplift Africans. We're trying to make people see us as different. We're trying to flourish in a place that allows us to flourish. So feel free to join that as well. You can check my community. I have all of the, like where you post stuff, pictures and stuff. Check that area there and keep an eye out for things. I'm always coming up with a new idea. Good talk. Much love, Igor. Much love. But about violent Russians, it still exists. But what do they mean? Basically, I can give an example, then I'll leave. So a lot of people in my country think that Russian people are these huge, violent people that get drunk and can beat you up for no reason. And apparently every Russian person is a terrorist. That's how people think. And this is basically propaganda that is fed to them by the West. So every person in my country thinks a Russian person speaks like this, and for some reason their name is Vladimir, and they're extremely dangerous because the West would give us these cartoons of Russian people basically being terrorists and killing people and stuff like that. So also when people heard about Ukraine, a lot of Africans were like, yeah, this makes sense because Russians are violent. That's what they said. So I'm basically trying to rewrite. I'm trying to educate people because it's not their fault. They just don't have another perspective. But I think it's good for an African like me actually living here. And I shouldn't call myself an African. I should call myself a Zimbabwean. But I feel like when people look at me, they see one thing. They see African. So I think I'm basically standing here and going live here to help them understand that every Russian they think every Russian is named Vladimir and they think every Russian is dangerous. And it's weird because even when I said I was in Russia, they were like, oh my God, are you safe? Bro is in Russia. Oh my God. Dude, did they attack you? Stuff like that. Which is just ridiculous. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll talk more about that. Maybe we can have a conversation about some stigmas and stereotypes in my country because of the West. I don't think they are that stupid to believe it. Not every African, not every person from my country, because we have other news, but a lot of people actually think Russian people are dangerous. They think that if you walk in the street right now, a Russian's going to beat you up. Really. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Maybe I can have some people from my country on live one day and I can show you what people think. It's ridiculous. But a lot of people have been watching my videos, so I'm changing the way they think. But yeah, guys, I gotta go. It's been so fun talking to you. And Arnold, I'll probably talk about that on the next stream. But thank you so much for the donations too, guys. Much love. I gotta run. I'll see you guys next time. Ending the live now.